So currently, I'm reading A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. E. Schwab. So I'm rotating between these two books, and so far I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking A Flicker in the Dark. I remember wanting to read this book uh, quite earlier also. Sorry about the shaking of the camera, but anyways, so and I had liked the blurb, but right now I went in pretty blind. Actually, I don't remember what the blurb is about, and I'm really enjoying the flicker in the dark so far. It has all the cozy vibes for it. The story is basically about, well, basically I don't know what it is about. Chloe Davies is a psychologist, and her father was a serial killer who has been sent to consecutive life imprisonment after grabbing a plea deal. And her brother and she has been surviving in the last 20 years with this very horrific image in the background. So the story goes forth between 20 years ago and present. So 20 years ago, 5 girls were missing, and again 20 years later on the anniversary, 2 girls have started going missing. So my theory is, I have a lot of theories going on in my mind with this book so far. One, her father was really not the serial killer, it was somebody else. And I think it is Cooper, her brother, because when her father was taken into custody by the police, it was his last words were, be good. He looked at both their kids and said, be good. Now when I think about it, it could have been directed at Cooper, probably. There were some porn magazines that were found under his bedside, so maybe he has some dark side to him, I don't know. So far there is nothing to prove that, though his dating life is pretty horrible, but I think it was something to do with Cooper, probably. I also thought it could be Daniel Briggs, her fiance, and he has a missing sister. I thought it could be him also, because it's a classic revenge, right? Taking revenge on the serial killer's daughter for taking away his sister. But that plot point has been addressed, and from the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's him. But it could be Cooper. But then again, this could all be red flags also, because it's too quick to say who the serial killer was. Maybe it's somebody, a copycat also. So, somebody who's inspired by Chloe's father, trying to reenact something 20 years later on its anniversary. It could be that also. So far I'm really invested in the characters, and I'm really liking the writing style. It's atmospheric, and the characters are also very intimate so far. I'm liking it. And The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, it's a slow read. I've read only 100 pages so far, and it's so far been introductory. The backstory of how Addie turned out to be the way she is, how she got immortality, so to say, and what she has been doing in these last 300 years. She has been alive for 300 years. So her almost like a daily routine, what is going on in her life, what happened 300 years ago when she made this deal. So it's going back and forth in that way so far in 100 pages. I will be reading it again after some time, probably. Probably I'll probably start it on Saturday. The other book that I wanted to read was The Raven Tower, yes. And so far I have read around 15 pages, and I have to say the names are very out there, and it's kind of I'm not able to connect to the story so far, but I'm trying to push through because I really want to read this book. The blurb was interesting, and I really want to give it a chance. I don't want to DNF it so soon. I am going to push through at least 50 pages before I decide what to do with it. But so far I have no idea what is going on in the book. 2 characters have been introduced, and I'm just getting the beat of the book, the plot of the book. Nothing is very concrete yet. The story is just getting started, and that is the problem, that it's taking so long to lay down the groundwork. It's not to the point yet. But I think I have a good feeling that it'll only get better from here. So I'm like fingers crossed. Okay, So yeah, this is my reading update so far for this week, and I finished Dark Spell. Again, it can be read as a standalone also. I think I'm not sure, but it didn't end in a cliffhanger as such. But I really enjoyed reading it. I really love getting lost in that world. It's so majestic, epic. High fantasy is always like that, but it's so confusing because these same characters have taken reincarnation, rebirths. So I have to think who was born before, who this character was before, though it's not really necessary, I feel, but it's confusing in that way. Some character was introduced midway, then I have to remember who that is when they're later on talked about. So all these things are, but I don't let it bog me down because the characterization itself is so good. It's it's just that because of so many characters, it gets a little muddled here and there. But again, I was happy with the book, and I'm looking forward to reading the next part. I think it's called Dawn Spell. I'm looking forward to reading that. So, yep, this is my update so far. I will also update again tomorrow, probably. And then I will upload it together. That's what I'm trying to do. So, how has your reading week been so far? I would love to know what you're reading correctly. Okay, bye bye. Hey, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to give an update about what I was reading earlier. I told you I'll update it later on. So I was reading for the last week A Flicker in the Dark, and The Dark Spell, and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have finished reading Dark Spell, and again it's a sequel to Dagger Spell, and again I'm really happy with the way it has progressed. Though story wise I feel like it may not have gone very far, but we are given more depth into the characters. New characters are introduced, and because of that I really enjoyed it. Even though it's a slow read, it's more plot driven, character driven, so you really enjoy getting lost in that world. So that's what I like about reading Dark Spell. I'm happy I finished reading that. I may start Dawn Spell, I think that is the third part, next month only, not anytime soon, because I have few other books to finish. And so yeah, I'm happy with finishing off Dark Spell by Catherine Curry. It is the second part in the Tevery Cycle series. Yeah. Okay. Now I finished A Flicker in the Dark. I forget the name of the author, Stacey Willingham or something like that. Okay. I was pretty right with what I was thinking about what must have been going on in that book. I was pretty right because in the beginning I was not sure, but by the time the ending was revealed, I was pretty happy with it, because it's more like the character that we are reading, Chloe Davies. She has to come to the point to know who the real killer is, and so we are discovering that journey with her, even though we as a reader already know who the killer is. At least I knew it. I had my theories, because there are not many men in her life that you can point fingers at. So I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it was pretty obvious who the killer is from the way the father was behaving and the other guys in her life were behaving. So it was just a matter of Chloe to open her eyes. So I liked it, and though the character Chloe itself, she was a little frustrating. The choices she made towards the end of the book was really annoying, because as a psychologist, I don't know what all are you doing. I don't know how you are able to help others when the way you are behaving is so weird, because I expected her to go and get help from a psychologist herself, a therapist herself, but she just decided she's one herself, so she doesn't have to go and seek any help. But as far as I know, psychologists or therapists will themselves seek help from other therapists if they have problems with themselves. As far as I know, I think they will do that. So her choices towards the end were a little annoying, and the ending was also a little surprising, because I was hoping that it will be a happy ending, but it turned out to be a new beginning for her. So if you have read the book, you'll know what I mean. So yeah, that's what has happened so far, and I would rate Dark Spell 4, because I love high fantasy, and I really don't see any, I don't see any negative points other than the fact that it's so slow paced. That is the only thing that I have a problem with, for which I'm giving it a 4 stars. But otherwise, Dagger Spell is a really good read. Okay, next, A Flicker in the Dark. I will give it a 3.5 because it's so predictable. But the story, the writing style, the storytelling part, the characters and their characterization, they're distinct. And what matters is whether you're invested in the character, whether you care about where this is leading. And I did. I wanted her to resolve her issues, and it's very engaging. The story is very engaging. You care about these people, and keeps you guessing. It definitely keeps you guessing, because it's not like right in your face. There are a lot of red flags, so it's definitely engaging, which is also important as a thriller, because sometimes the many theories in your head that you have, you're sure that it is going to be one of these things. But the book, if it manages to keep you guessing all the time, I mean, it has done its job. It doesn't matter whether you were right or not, or wrong in the end, because not able to predict is the fun of reading a thriller, a mystery, murder mystery thriller, whatever. Okay, now the other book that I'm reading is, as I said, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Now, unfortunately, see these pretty edges, I'm so happy I got them. It's a second-hand buy for me actually, and I got it for a pretty decent rate, because on Amazon they're very expensive, and so I thought, and I wanted to buy it as soon as possible. I'm reading this for the Readers Retreat Book Club. This is the book of the month, September book of the month. So I really wanted to read it, and I got it only just last week. But still, I have finished 100 pages of this. I managed to listen to the audiobook for a while there, and again, it was very slow. I just read for 100. It was just 100 pages, I believe, that I finished listening to, or less, I think it was. So I've only reached around 150 pages or something so far, and there is still a lot to go. Like, I have reached only around like this much. This much is all what I finished, and there is still this much to finish. So that's a lot to finish. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it off before the end of September. But then I'm reading only this book, and I've also started Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates. I'm not sure if that is the name, something like that. I started that book also because it's available on Kindle Unlimited. So I had seen it in some places on Bookstagram. Some of my Bookstagram friends were reading it, and it received really good reviews. It's supposed to be very creepy and unsettling vibe, and I thought that would be a perfect read for, just before October starts. So I've read only around 3 chapters or something so far, so I've just started. But yeah, these 2 books, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and Gallows Hill, these are the last 2 books I'll probably be reading for this month. And yeah, I don't think there is a need for an update, probably, because from the looks of it, I will probably be giving this book, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, a 3.5 stars, 4 stars, because I love the writing style. I love the languid way of, so soaking the words, so many things that makes this book so joyous to read. But as a story, I mean, like, come on, I don't think there is much to. It's just like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I think I give that book also 3.5. It's like you're invested in how much these characters do in life, but ultimately I do not find the same thrill which I find while reading high fantasy or thrillers, which, if done right, I will always give them a 4 or 5 stars. So probably, and Gallows Hill, it's engaging so far. I'm happy with the way it's progressing, but it all depends on how it goes forward. So if from the judging by the starting, I think I'll probably be giving it a 3 stars. 3.5 stars is what it looks like so far to me, unless it's so bad that I may end up giving it 2 stars, but then I'm really hoping that it's 3.5 stars. So yeah, and also the next video that I will be uploading is my year book haul, all the books that I bought this year, because there are many books that I bought this year, but some of them I have not even started reading. So I thought I will have a 2-part book haul, and yeah, that is what I'm probably be uploading next. So I just wanted to give an update for this video, and let me know your thoughts. If you have read these books I mentioned in this video, what do you think about these books? If you plan to read them, are you going to start reading them? You can find me on Bookstagram at what's on my bookshelf. The name is Vandana. You'll find me there. You can also follow my book club. Readers Retreat Book Club on Instagram as well. We have decided The Inheritance Games, something like that, by Jennifer Lynn as our October book of the month. So I'm looking forward. I may or may not read it because it looks it's YA, I believe. So I don't know. I may give it a try. I may not. I don't know. I'm not decided yet. But that is the book of the month for Readers Retreat. And it was nice giving an update for my September reads. And I'll catch you in my next book haul video. Okay. Bye. Take care.